Listen, if there's one piece of advice that I can definitely give to anyone who's building a front end using LLMs or with AI-powered coding, for the love of God, build a design system first. Build all of the connecting pieces that you need so that at the end of it, you can just do Lego assembly. It becomes a giant Lego set. And all of your updates past that initial massive hurdle of building a design system become 10 times easier. Because now, you just have to tell the LLM, or you don't even have to tell it, it can be in its base instruction set, that it should use the reusable components that you have already defined. Because what that means is it's inventing less stuff. Great. We don't want LLMs to do too much thinking. We want them to execute and not think. The thinking should be for the developer. I reserve the right to do the thinking. And I reserve the right to give the LLM all of the work. And, well, not all of the work, but, you know, to do the grunt work of it, which is fantastic. And what I mean by building a design system, I mean having a design token generation pipeline. So having design being able to define specific seeds for their colors, and then having a pipeline that allows you to then take that and turn it into semantic or design level tokens that you can use with the likes of Tailwind or whatever the fuck you want to use, right? You also want to define a ton of primitives, and then from there you want to essentially scaffold up, right? The way that React works is you want to have atomically composable UIs. You ideally don't want to be repeating yourself more than once or twice. And even at that point, you can start to question whether or not there's reusability opportunities that you can split things out and make it better. The beauty of it is then, when somebody reports something isn't working, we only have to fix it once. Because it's the same implementation everywhere, right? Like, in order to fix infinite scroll, one place. In order to fix, I don't know, message rendering, one place. In order to fix message sending, one place. All really, really good. And it makes your life easier, and it makes your context with these LLMs more efficient too. Another thing I would think about introducing or building for yourselves, which is something I've done with Kinzo, with the Kinzo front end, is some sort of layout management, right? So having an ability to, if your app has a lot of reusable screens, ideally your app has designs that are relatively similar, right? Like the screens, ideally the app screens shouldn't be vastly different, because you want to try and provide a consistent user experience so that users can learn and can build good muscle memory around your product. You don't want them to have to learn things new with every single screen they go on. Things should feel familiar between different routes and screens and features. And so that's what we've built. And so I have a layout system where I can define what panel sits where. The beauty of this is this feeds up into a context engine, right? So if we want our AI/LLM that you can interact with inside of Kinzo to be able to understand, where is this user right now? What are they actually looking at? That can be really difficult. And because you can't really like just send a screenshot from their screen, because that's a whole lot of fucking PII that you don't want to have anything to do with. So if you have these layouts, this layout management, that is a piece of context that you can feed to that LLM to help it understand where it's actually right now, where the user is right now, so that it can provide more contextually relevant information. It also allows us to then really quickly build out new views, right? Like, so say design says, oh, hey, we need a view for, I don't know, we want to have a new view for contacts. Say we want that. That becomes really easy. Once the design is set, we go, okay, cool. Well, we need 3 panels, or we need 2 panels, and then we use the layout management and the top level panel setup, and then we just build whatever new panels we need, and we build those from existing components as well. So the speed of execution is better too. Like if design needs something new, we can get onto it reasonably quickly. Not to say that obviously that things will get solved really quickly, because software always has its fucking quirks, and sometimes things really just don't want to work the way that you expect them to, and that's fine, that's software. everything is great until it meets the user. You know what I mean? Every system is perfect until a user gets their hands on it. And then it becomes really interesting because you start getting massive permutations, right? You as a developer working on your app, you will use it in a relatively consistent manner, and the data that you're feeding it may not necessarily be super weird. I mean, I tested it with my own inbox and it seemed to be fine, and I've got a pretty fucking cooked inbox. But, you know, a plan is great, and trying to build and predict what a user may do and may not do, and try and like keep them safe, so to speak, is a good intention to have. But you should always remember that no matter how well you build a system, it will inevitably break somehow and somewhere. And so if you have built yourself a nice set of design components, and you've built this modular system that you just sort of plug and play and stick together as you need it, it means that if, I don't know, say message syncing is broken, or message fetching, or message sending, or whatever it might be is broken, we have one place to look because it's one implementation everywhere. It's simple. It means your life as a developer is easier, and an LLM's life is easier because it doesn't have to try and grok 4 different fucking implementations of the same thing. It makes life easier. So if that is the only lesson you take from me in all of this time, is if you are a front-end developer building apps with LLMs, please build a design system first. You will make your life so much easier. Try to build essentially systems that allow both you and the LLM to work faster, to compose layouts faster, to not necessarily abstract away, but take away some of the thought that is required, because you only need to get like a layout management thing right once, right? And then you can just repeat it, and then you can reuse it over and over and over again, which is something these LLMs are incredibly good at, right? You give them a pattern, they can fucking follow it, and they follow it to their detriment. Now, today we got a first layer, we got a dev deployment up. That's really exciting. I got AI chat in, that's sick. And we will continue to work. And I am excited for people to start using it. And I really look forward to be honest, this is weird for a developer to say, I genuinely look forward to being able to interact with customers and understand their sort of like frictions and pain points, and work with them to build better solutions. Because I understand no matter how well we design the system now, when it gets to users, they're going to look at it and they're going to want it a different way. And that's fine. We're not building this app so that me as a developer and me as a fucking, you know, person working on it, so that I like it and so that it's great for me. It doesn't need to be great for me. It needs to be great for the users. And if it works for them, fantastic. And if I've built a system that allows me to quickly iterate and change and adapt to a user's needs, I have positioned myself well enough where I don't necessarily have to worry if a user goes from one day to the next that something needs to be completely changed. Because we've built the system that allows for that change. Because the only inevitability really is that things will change. I think I saw a stat around the survival rate of most code is about 20%. So within like a couple of years, maybe 20% of the code that you wrote initially will still be there. I'm totally fine with that. I love that. That's fucking cool. Imagine the amount of iteration that will happen between now and a year from now, and like the 20% that will remain. I'm really curious what that 20% that remains will be. If we even have 20% that remains, because that's an average, remember? That's not the absolute number. I'm curious to see what will stick, what will survive, and what won't. And of course, I will be posting and recording as best as I can, with my priority naturally being my work and not this. So this will come secondary when I find moments of time. In any case, saying thanks for watching is kind of cringe, but I'm going to be cringe because that seems to be the theme for making content, is to just be cringe. So, don't know why I took my glasses off there. Appreciate you for sticking around and watching this. Subscribe or something, and maybe like the video if you liked it, and leave a comment if you have any sort of questions or something that you would like me to cover in regards to anything to do with the front end on Kinzo, or in more general terms around like AI coding, anything like that, I'm more than happy to help. And if you are one of our founding members and you've happened to come across my YouTube channel and you're watching this video right now, thank you. If you'd like to send me an email, reach out to our legendary community manager, Lulu. She will pass it on to you. And we can be in touch if there is any questions that you have for me, because I would like to be directly accessible to our users so that I can provide the solutions that they need. In any case, I've now just waffled past the thanks for watching part again, so I'll say it again. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you being here, and take care.